All right, welcome back to the stream. It's been a while, and in large part that's because I feel like the majority of what I'm working on is behind the scenes stuff. Um, I don't think that troubleshooting and working on sprites or anything that I think would be as interesting as map making or eventing. So just today we're going to be working on all of the other buildings that will just be filled with random NPCs. I plan on putting just side quests, I guess, into most of them. So I'm not really going to be doing any of the. I'm not going to be adding any of the NPCs right now because I do think in the future it'll be fun to go back after having a better understanding of the game and adding characters that change what they say based on how many gyms you've completed, so that every time you go back to a place, there's really something new that you could take a look at. And how in depth that newness is will obviously vary. Something that I talked about last stream was what I was gonna do with the Ghost Gym Leader, because I was building out teams, and I've decided to bring in the sprites for Mimikyu and Honedge, because the data firm's already here, and I just really need to bring in the sprites, which I have the sprites, I just need to scale them. So I realized, and that was something that, I mean, poking around off stream, it's because it wasn't, I was bringing, importing photo pictures of Pokemon and changing the size of the Pokemon in Paint, and then adding the Pokemon to the Pokemon folder in RPG Maker, and then adding them to my Pokemon team and throwing them out and seeing what they looked like and if I needed to adjust it. All those things that I find definitely not as engaging. So here we are. Also, we're jamming out to Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong has great music. All right, Average Town is interesting because it has the home. It has your house, which is this red one, which I already made off stream, I think, a while back, just to kind of like fill it up with stuff. So this is, yeah. So this is a plate of food, and this is your dad. And he says you should go meet the professor first because you wake up late. This is your little sister. She's too busy watching TV to tell you to wake up. But you'll notice all of them are triggered to a blank after the intro actually happens. So your home is also going to be dynamic in that regard. And then this is your messy room because of course you're a slob. And then there's like a nook area. I guess I didn't make a bedroom for your little sister or your dad, but Pokemon houses have always just been like weird. It's never actually been a full house. It's always been like a one-room building that sometimes has beds and sometimes has kitchens and sometimes has living rooms, but doesn't have all of those things going on. So anyways, this is the blank slate for adding all of the other towns. But really, it's just you. We already added the Pokemart and Poke Center. We already added the 2 gyms. So the only one left is your rival's house. So that'll be right here. There's actually a lot of different floors you can go with. And it's really hard to pick one. Because if you pick like a green carpet, then you worry about your furniture and how that's going to look. Honestly, I spend too much time worrying about building these one-off rooms that are completely inconsequential, and it's really just because I hate having to try and like figure out like how many different ways I can match together a very limited number of, beds. There's 3 bed colors to choose from. There's 2 couch colors, 3 couch colors if you really want to get to split these. There's 3 couch colors to choose from. And so, I mean, I'll do my best in trying to make a house that doesn't look like a disaster. I'm planning on watching the Olympics while working throughout this week, which like I haven't watched a ton of the past Olympic games, mainly because I really watched them a lot when I was like a teenager. The Olympics when I was a teenager, it was just like come home from school and the TV was always on the Olympics. But apart from that, it's really just been like I have other things going on in my life when the Olympics happen, and so it hasn't been accessible in other years. But I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? There's no reason why I can't if I'm working from home. If I was working in the office, then it definitely wouldn't fly. But that's one of the fun things about working from home it's been just like universally accepted, really, that you can do other things while working. Which I mean, like, that didn't stop people before. I mean, I remember going to clients and just seeing their employees, like, just like one of them always had a Twitch stream open while working. One of them literally was playing games all the time, and it was just one of those things where it's like how is this work? Like, how are you doing this and no one's saying anything about it? You guys are clearly just like have your own things going on, but then it's like we started working from home and more people started saying like, yeah, I turned on Netflix, I have a show running in the background while I work. It's been really interesting to see that shift. And then of course there are the sticklers who are like, no, I'm always on top of it. Three stools at the countertop. 2. We'll go with 2. And now that we have a better idea of the room's layout, we're gonna go back and add shadows. I think we'll go with the angled shadow. I commissioned my first custom Pokemon this week. Started the process. So it'll be I'm super excited to see how it turns out. It's a dark fairy type Pokemon based off of like a black dog. Based off of my pet black dog. So yeah, I'm adding my pet dog to I mean, honestly, they'll be in all of my games, because once I get the sprites, it's like, why would I ever exclude them? But it got me going down the rabbit hole on what like my next Pokemon game is gonna be, which that's bad, just because I need to finish this one before I get into my next Pokemon game, you know? Like, I feel like it'd be rushing into it otherwise. But this one's going to be like, you have a normal type Pokeball. So the game I'm working on right now, where, you know, I've talked about Slacking being your starter, it's going to be like a normal type Pokemon themed game that sort of revolves around that. But my next game is going to be ghost themed, and you're going to have a dark fairy. And I'm starting to realize, I've shown on stream how I want to make a no, that's not how I want to stream playing Majora's Mask, because I've never played Majora's Mask before. And then I started thinking about like, oh well, if I'm gonna make a game where my dog is your starter Pokemon and it's ghost themed, then I started thinking like, oh, it'd be really cool to like make it like this haunting kind of game. And I was like, well, the path I'm starting to go down, I worry is going to be too similar to what I've heard about Majora's Mask. And then I was like, well, shoot, I don't want to play Majora's Mask while I'm turning around and working on another Pokemon game and have Majora's Mask and the ideas and themes discussed in that influence this game. So I'm not gonna play Majora's Mask in the near future, because I'd rather not have these other like ideas spinning around in my head. Rival's house ended up with a weird layout. That's too bad. Just make fun of the rival for it, right? When you play this game, come in here and bag on how weird it is that there's this double bed in the corner and a tiny kitchen, and both a countertop bar and a sitting area. Like, one of my least favorite things to add in people's houses is actually a television. And that really is just because I always feel like I need to make an event out of the television, and then the television needs to like have a show on, and I don't really care about that because I just don't. That being said, carpets are also hard. They're rugs. Can't do that. I don't think I'm going to put a rug in. I think it's way too weird. But yeah, TV events aren't that exciting. They're rather bothersome, in my opinion. Whenever I'm building these rooms and I'm like, oh man, there's not enough like things to fill this space. Everything like is close to a wall. Just need to remind myself that I can put people in these, and those people can take up space. So we're gonna call it, and we're gonna do something to map properties. We're gonna make it 30 wide. There you go. We can probably go smaller, huh? If I cut it off, I can never get it back. I'd have to redo it. So I always take precaution in how much I shave off. There we go. Okay, so Average Town now has all of the interior buildings. And now we're gonna add the events to go back and forth. We're getting close. We're getting close. These are the final maps. This one's gonna have one building and a mall. 2 buildings and a mall. I definitely think I really got into my stride for island design when I got to the last 2, or island town design. Average Town and North City were my first 2, and I feel like they had less going on in them. Like Violent Island has 3 houses, which is bigger than North City, which is supposed to be a city. Handard City, I think I did a good job with, because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, this is a city. This has friggin' 8 other buildings in it. And then North City's just like, I thought about just putting a bunch more up here, but we're just gonna kick it like this for now. We're gonna do a new map. We're gonna just call it North City. The reason being, when you save a game in a location, it saves your location, so when you load the game, it'll show where you are. And like, it's, I don't know, just saying like house doesn't really make as much sense. We're also gonna change the music. I think I did mom theme for interiors. Let's go back and check. Mom theme. Mom theme. Yeah, we're just gonna use mom theme as the interior for all of these. But this one we'll make wide, and we'll see how much we can fit in it. Oh, I made it an exterior. We want it inside. Boom. Okay, so this will be these two because we need to make normal, and normal is going to be its own multi-floor thing. So all right, one of these is very small, and then we have one that has to have a door on the backside, and you come in through the top. So these are going to be pretty unique spaces. The really small one is where I'm gonna have the really eccentric carpet. Some nice windows. Alright, this is a one-person house. Oh my gosh, guys. I got scuba certified this weekend. Which was super cool. I got to go out and dive, not in like a pool. I got to go out and dive in a hot spring. The water was 96 degrees. It was awesome. That was so much better than having to scuba dive in cold water. Because I've snorkeled actually when I was vacationing in California one time, and it was cold. I've been on vacation to like Hawaii, and that's definitely more of my preferred temperature for the water. So yeah, I got to go out and dive. Went 50 feet underwater, which is like wild to think about. As some, like, you know, I've swam in what I'd say were deep pools before. I don't think I made a room that's actually... No, this should be the center right here. No, it's not. Okay, we're gonna do something. But yeah, I've swam in pools that, you know, are deep. I've gone to places where, like, you know, those like high dives. I've jumped off of a high dive that, I don't know. I didn't do the third tier. That's like, I don't know how tall those things are. Like, but there's like the 3 high dives at like special deep pools, and I've done like the second tier of that, which I don't remember how high that is. And I've like yeah, so I've been in deep pools, and it's always fun to like see if you can touch the bottom, and it's like a 15-foot deep pool. And so you go 15 feet deep and then you jump right back. But it was crazy actually thinking about being 50 feet underwater and like looking up and like just like sort of processing that, where it's like, and I mean, that's why they do scuba training, is because the worst thing you can do underwater is actually panic. And that's why you do all of these classes before they let you scuba dive, is because when you're panicking, you're not thinking rationally. Whereas like you like to think like, oh yeah, I know how to breathe out of a, you know, scuba apparatus. I can just like go swimming, and then it's like, no, we practice these things so that if there's anything ever goes wrong, you don't freak out. And it really is just like that simple. So most of the stuff is pretty straightforward. I did learn some cool things though. You can get loopy from, and they don't actually know the cause, but when you go deep, and you're breathing this nitrogen oxygen mix, sometimes people like essentially get high, and that's dangerous because they don't recognize it. It's not a lot of people kind of can catch that self-awareness when their mind is off its game. And my instructor told a story about a guy who was in the class, and they went deep. Well, not deep. Like I say deep like it's crazy. Like 60 feet underwater is sort of the limit for most commercial dives. You have to do special dives to go deeper than that. But yeah, he and the guy was just like goofing off. Like wasn't paying attention to any of like what they were saying or practicing in the class. Was just like doing his own thing, playing around, and he was like, and after a little bit, he was like, okay, we need to get you like back out of the surface. And out of the surface, the guy had no recollection of it, like no memory. And he was talking with him. He was like, dude, like you were doing this and this and this, and he was like, what? No, like I don't remember any of that. Which is another reason why it's actually dangerous for people to get so loopy underwater. But yeah, that was something I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know that like if you just swam far enough underwater on an oxygen tank, that there is a certain chance that you just got high off of it. Just wild. That's wild, isn't it? I love how old school like the computers and TVs are in these like sprite layouts, these old school sprites. Everything's got to be some big thing. Maybe I do only want this to be pretty long. But yeah, got certified, and I was looking at scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef, but so there are dives that we can do. We can do liveaboards where you live on a boat for like a couple days and then do dives just every day, and they just go out and you live over the water, right? Anyways, the one that we were really wanting to do would be 4 days, so an extra day, and it'd be in a place called like the Coral Forest, I think. And you need to have 20 dives under your belt as like a prerequisite for them to accept you. They're basically like, nah, you can't be like a first-time diver. And with this class, I completed 4 dives, 4 open water dives specifically. Pool dives don't count. And then And so we're 16 short. We also are thinking about getting an advanced certification, which would add 5 more, so then we'd be at 19. We're actually going to Belize scuba diving this year, and we're doing 8 dives there. So that puts us at 17 dives. We'd need 3 more dives to qualify for going to Australia. So we're totally gonna do it. It's just we need to like plan it out, and we need to go on 3 additional dives, which 3 dives, by the way, is literally something you can knock out in a day. A dive needs to be below 15 feet for longer than 15 minutes to qualify. And like for me, the tank that I was using in the classes would last me like 2 hours, I think. Not of continuous use. Basically, if I did 2 30-minute dives, then I'd be done. Then not that I'd be out of air, but that I'd be close enough to not really want to do another dive. This house is a mess. I hate making these houses. I always feel like I do such an awful job with it. I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, is that where a houseplant goes? Alright, we're calling it. That's going to be a house. Congratulations. You get a house. You have windows to look at your Snorlax in the back. Okay. Next house. Going to be a little bit bigger. Alright. With this, I can basically put a doorway on any wall, but I'm gonna default to one of these that already has... I've always wanted to use this. This is when someone like breaks into a house and steals from it and the police are investigating. Pretty sure it's Team Rocket and Fire Red. Oh, I should make sure this is centered before I get too involved. Check that out! I guessed and I centered it. The happy Donkey Kong music is over. It is... Is it final boss time? No, there's no way. This playlist is so long. Oh, that's the forest burning down song. Pleasant. Pleasant stuff. Oh. Alright, this person is going to have all of the berries outside their house. So they're going to be very botanically minded. They're going to have a green thumb. They're going to have lots of plants and things in their house. So first off, we're just going to throw their bed in the corner. The only place for a bed. Boom. Bed. These guys are slobs. Boom. Slobs. Kitchen sink. Boom. No windows. There we go. This is what I was looking for. Buckets of plants. Packages. Important packages. Why are they important? I actually don't know, but they have to do with plants. And now we get lots of plants. This is what this place is all about. A little on the fence about that. It's a little tight for an entrance. Ugh, the wall. The wall. They're gonna have like one of every kind of plant though. I just need to figure out where I want to put it. Heck that wall. Does that fit with the bed? It's a little too close for the bed. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, they have every kind of plant. All of them. And 2 of those. This knocked over plant is also from the break-in sprites in Fire Red. Nah, it's not gonna be there. And they're gonna have a table. A big table. Maybe one of these ones from like the school. And we're gonna put a laptop on it. Why am I operating on the 3rd layer? Be on the 2nd. There we go. Okay, now we can put a laptop on it. Boom. Laptop. Boom. They gotta have their coffee. Boom. Napkin. They're very clean people. Chairs. Sure. They get little stools. Maybe we'll go with those stools. Maybe we won't. Who knows? No, I'll stick with the blue. I'm looking for any other planty things to put in this establishment. Nope, I think that's everything I want to do with this. There we go. We're gonna do the paths out. And then we're gonna do the doors in. Gotta match the door up with the sprite door. There it is. I love how the animated doors work in this. How it's literally 4 frames. And it literally, like, is the player on the event? Okay, make it transparent, and then move the door. Wait 2 frames, wait 2 frames, wait 2 frames. Then, it's not transparent, so the player's not transparent, move them down, and then close the door 2 frames. 2 frames, 2 frames, 2 frames. Like, it's such a, I mean, it's brilliant. It totally gets the job done. I'm not, like, saying it's bad. I just think it's fun how it operates for it to animate. And now we have something interesting. We need to do a path in to the house. So there's not going to be... You know what? No. I'm doing this the wrong way. We're actually going to use the interior, which these are just play the door exit sound, change the screen color, wait frames, and transfer player. Because there's no door animation for this, we're just going to put it there. And then I think we may want... Is there a different sound? Sound effect, door enter. So there... That's what it says, right? Door enter, yeah. So this is door exit. We're going to change this to door enter. And we're also going to have the volume be at 100. So it's 100, 100. It is 80, 100 on this. So it's interesting. When you enter a door, it's 100, 100. When you exit a room, it's quieter. The door exit sound is quieter. Honestly, I don't remember the sounds of the door on or off, like the door entrance or exit. I don't know if they're the same or not, but that's just an interesting thing I've noticed while looking at the code. So, okay, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it so it brings you right here. Oh man, I'm starting to realize that there's a lot more that goes into this simple door. Let's look at the, nope, let's not look at the material base. Though this would be how I think choose transparencies for sprites. I think that's where it is. All right, so if we go to outside, and I think this is outside waterfall, and find that house, you'll notice we can walk all the way up there, but priorities 1, we probably want priority 2 or 4. Priority max, really, because you want the entire player to be covered by it. Priority 1 will cover like the bottom half of the player, but not the top half, like the head, I think is what it is. Which is weird that it lets you do it that way. And then 2, I think, is where it covers everything. But that's important because... Actually, I don't think that is important. Well, too late. I did it. All right. Now, this is where it gets weird again. We're actually going to do the opposite in here, where that one was an interior going... Like, we're going to take an exterior entrance and use it, because this, you'll remember, is the one that once the player enters, they move down. So set the player's move path through, on, and we don't want up, we want down instead of up. And then through, off. Through means they can walk through anything. And then, again, we don't need to worry about transparency. We don't need to worry about the sprites look. Oh, sorry, I'm going about this wrong. Dang it. Okay, we're going to cancel. We're going to go back. It's still here. This is when you touch it, not when you stand on it. So the reason we're doing this is because this is if the player's on it. We want this event to run its animation, which we don't care about now. And then we want the player to move down, wait for the completion of the animation we don't care about. So we remove that. We set the animation to none. And now when the player teleports there, it'll provide the illusion of they land on that space and the game immediately makes them walk down, but the screen fades in while they're walking down. So it gives the illusion of them entering the room. And now we need to do the leaving, which I want to see how it looks. We're going to let the player move up so they'll actually walk out of the space. And then we won't worry about that. And we'll change the screen color and tone and everything, and we will move them to the outside. And their direction will be up when they leave. I think is what we want. Yeah. That should do it. Let's play it. Let's see if all of our doors work. Okay. Okay, what rooms, what... We'll go to North City because it's, I guess, closer on the warp list, but... Let's talk to Snorlax. Oh, it's sleeping. Of course it is. 4-frame animation. Wow. What an absolutely empty space. We'll need to put someone in it. And look, you can't see the room that's right there. Unless, of course, you're in debug mode, and then you can see what's right there. But it works. It works. There's so much red in that room. Okay. You see how I walked through the room like that? When I faded in, I was still in motion. Oh! Oh, that was a disaster. Easy fix though, but disaster. Okay. We're actually going to save right here because I'm going to fix it and then we'll go back into the game and make sure it works. But before we quit and fix that, let's warp to Haverage Town. Okay, sure, throw me in the bottom corner. Alright, here we go. And there you go. There's your rivals. Oh, I didn't notice that before, but the sink is totally labeled with the hot side and the cold side knobs with the one red pixel and the one blue pixel. That's fun. Okay, that works. Alright. Now what we need to do here is actually, on the inside, we need to set priority. You can see there's no priority over this. Oh, there's no priority because if we were to set priority, part of it would flip your head, right? Let's see. Let's see. Let's just do it and let's see. Okay? We're going to set it to priority 3. Just because I think I was totally wrong on what I said about priority. I think it's completely fine, but we'll see. I bring it over and then it just resets anyways. Okay. Oh, I set the black to priority, so it has higher priority than what's above it in the layering, because this is black in the first layer. Dang. See, this is something that happened to me in my original game that I made. I started messing around with the layering like that, and it started screwing everything up. And so, even if I fixed it now, I would have to change all of the prior buildings because they probably would have that same graphical problem. And that's totally not worth it. So we're just going to make it so when you step on it, you leave. And we're not going to do any crazy walking. Though it would have been really cool. And maybe I'll do it in another game if I remember to build all of my rooms like that. But instead, that's what you get. Which is fine. That's totally cool. Okay. What I'll probably do in the next stream is add in normal, which honestly, I just pull in the... I pull in a pre-made mall. Just because, yeah, this is it right here. Because it has an elevator and it has these different floors. And it has its own tile set just for malls with a rooftop, which is super cool too. And all of these things, I'm just like... And look, it already has all of the people who will buy and sell different things. And so I'm like, this isn't like a big ad. I don't like... How many people are gonna... This is where you buy Thunderstones and Firestones and Waterstones and Leafstones. Which is super useful for the game. And of course I want it in my game. But do I need to like redo the layouts? I mean, maybe. Maybe I'll shuffle around the layouts, but I'm definitely not going to touch you know, everything in it, because this is cool. This is a little like competition. Maybe I'll put some sprites in playing in a tournament or something, and you can interact with them. But apart from that, I'm not going to do much. And then we'll have Handard City and Byland Island to complete. After working on those, we can actually get into more of the scripting, because again, all of like the Pokemon like coding that I'm doing where I'm just writing out the trainers, I don't think is as interesting. But thank you for